Yeah.
All right. We're here for our weekly Marion County Board of Commissioners. We got the flowers over here. We want to thank Mark Wigg for bringing in some beautiful flowers this time of year from, I believe, from his garden.
Yeah.
It's a good way to start our day for our Marion County Weekly Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Wednesday, March 20th, 2024. We're here in the Commissioners Senate or hearing room. I always want to say the Commissioners Ballroom, but
That's upstairs.
that's upstairs. We dance upstairs, yeah. As always, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance, if you'll join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have nobody signed up for public comment. We have a couple items that we need to remove.
Sure. Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to remove 2 action items from the board session agenda. Item number 9 under Community Services, the consideration approval of amendment number 1 to the intergovernmental agreement with Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments for management of the Marion County Homeowner Residential Rehabilitation Program for low to moderate income residents. And item number 12 under the Sheriff's Office, consider approval of amendment number 1 to the intergovernmental agreement with Chemeketa Community College to provide student opportunity for achieving results, the SOAR program, services to community corrections clients.
Okay, I will second that motion. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say for the record that I had asked for these to be pulled because there's a little bit of work I need to do on both of them. There's nothing wrong with them, and they'll probably be back in about a week.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Well, that makes our agenda even shorter today. All right.
You're welcome.
Our first item today is the consent calendar. If you'd like to
Aye.
move the consent calendar.
I move to approve the consent calendar under Board of Commissioners Board appointment, Marion County Health Insurance Study Committee. Approve an order appointing Kay Alejandre as a management representative to the Marion County Health Insurance Study Committee. Under Board Appointments, the Marion County Law Enforcement Association Health Insurance Study Committee. Approve orders appointing Commander Jeremy Landers and Lieutenant Matt Wilkinson as management representatives to Marion County Law Enforcement Association Health Insurance Study Committee. Under Finance, approve the quitclaim deeds for the buyback of tax foreclosed properties for tax account IDs 548990 and 548994 from Marion County to Gary Grimm, personal representative of the estate of Byron Grimm. Under Health and Human Services, approve the intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority for incoming funds in the amount of $20,231,766.16 for the financing of community mental health, addiction treatment, recovery, prevention services, and problem gambling programs retroactive to January 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. Excuse me. Under Public Works, approve a resolution authorizing Marion County Parks to apply for a local government grant from the Oregon Parks and Recreation Department for development at Parkdale Park and sign a letter of support. Item number 6, receive notice of the hearings officer's decision approving zone change case number 23-003 LJS property management. And finally, under Tax Office, approve orders for a property tax refund for the following tax accounts. Liberty Street Partners LLC, account 573142, in the amount of $20,775.87, and Sula Solar 28 LLC, account 608323, in the amount of $36,828.85.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion?
I'm just thrilled that Parkdale Park has made it to an agenda in this room.
Yeah.
I mean, we're making progress.
Yeah. So it's a nice little, should be a nice little neighborhood park when we finally get it done. Yep. Our parks guy, I'll just say this, Kevin Thompson, our new parks director, and Brian May, and just the whole Public Works Department. Of course, we sat in a 3-hour work session yesterday on solid waste management. Our Public Works Department, we better be careful. Ryan's out here, and he might get his head, just all the work that they're doing. Brandon's here. Look at all these Public Works people that are just doing great work. Anyways, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That is done. Our first item under action is board appointments, and our great Justice of the Peace, Justin Kidd, is here today. Justin, welcome. And we're gonna approve an order appointing Rachel Federico and reappointing Jared Howard as Justice of the Peace Pro Tem for Marion County Justice of the Peace District with terms ending March 20th, 25th. And I believe Rachel is here with us as well. Welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. So, Commissioners, I just want to say thank you for your continued support of Justice Court and all the ways that you do. One of the ways that you started last year, which was really helpful to me, was starting a pro tem program. So,
Can you pull the microphone closer
you're not
to
picking
you?
me up? Okay.
Thank you.
So I want to say thank you for that. The pro tem program helps me when there are professional conflicts because we get more than 20,000 cases a year in justice court, so it's inevitable that I run into people that I know in the community. So it's really nice to have that valve that we can shunt those cases to people so that there's just no appearance of impropriety. And also it lets me do communication, so thank you for that. So Pro Tem Judge Howard was not able to be here today. He's in court across the street, but he has served with distinction, and I thank you for that. But I'd also like to introduce to you Rachel Federico. So per Commissioner Willis's suggestion, we held an open recruitment in the community and researched several applications. We ran a panel interview with Judges Zimmerman and Beretta and I, and the successful candidate here is Rachel Federico. So I'd like to introduce her to you and tell you some of the reasons that she's fabulous, in addition to being just a really wonderful human being. So, but her bona fides are really strong. She's a graduate of Lewis and Clark's Law School. She graduated 26th out of 231. She has a master's degree from the Texas Women's University and a BA from Union College in New York. She is the supervising attorney for legal aid services here in Oregon and the acting regional director here. So she is a big deal. And also I love that she comes from the opposite side of the table from Pro Tem Judge Howard. So as you know, the most complicated legal work we do is our housing related work. So Rachel sits on the tenant side most often, and Judge Howard sits on the landlord side most often, and I like the balance that brings. She's been in justice court before. She's a fierce advocate. She's very bright. She's president of the MCBA, our local bar association. She's a secretary on the appellate section of the bar. She's been a clerk for the Oregon Court of Appeals. She's done so many things. I can't hardly list them all, but she's really quite fabulous, and I would love for you to meet her.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just pull that mic really close.
Yes. I'm very, very honored.
Just introduce yourself for the record.
My name is Rachel Federico, and I am the Regional Director Acting of Legal Aid Services in Oregon. Good morning. I'm very, very honored to be here and to hold this volunteer position in our community. Justice Court to me is an incredibly valuable service. Many of the clients that I work with have had interaction with Justice Court. And what I can say is that the court provides faster remedies often than our circuit court. It has taken a tremendous burden off of the circuit court to handle routine matters, forcible entry and detainer or eviction actions and the like, to allow our community members to have their matters heard. And I truly believe that every individual in our community deserves a fair shake at justice, which Judge Kidd does a marvelous job presiding over those matters, and I'm honored to get to work with such a wonderful mentor in our community. I also think that our Justice Court provides a valuable resource in that it reduces expense of litigation and expense to our local community, frankly, by having this available to hear matters. And I'm very excited to be able to provide further relief and to be able to volunteer in our community and provide that access to justice.
Well, fantastic.
Thanks for
Comments?
being here. Love what you do.
Yeah, I just want to say that just listening to your resume, your background, it sounds like you have served a lot of people and mentored a lot of people. And I think that's one of the things that is really important in life, is to make sure that we can all serve and help others, become the best that they can be. And you're sitting next to somebody who I've really admired since Justice Kidd has been here, and how he has interacted with the whole process, the whole system, the public safety system, and the citizens, and helped take pressure off of our courts across the street, and been a team player. So it's great to have you here and to see more people getting involved at the level that the future, who knows what the future holds for all of us. So thank you very much for being here and for stepping up again to volunteer in a position that is really critical to the citizens of Marion County. So I want to say thank you. And Commissioner Willis is here. Do you want to?
Made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your service. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's truly an honor to get to do the work. Thank you.
Yeah. So I will entertain a motion. Commissioner Willis, if you would like to make that motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve orders appointing Rachel Federico and reappointing Jared Howard as Justice of the Peace Pro Tem for the Marion County Justice of the Peace District with terms ending March 20th, 2025.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. And yes, life is better with you here. That's what my little lapel pin says today. A motion and second. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I just had a thought, because you, Justice Kidd, had talked about your work in housing, which is a major priority and passion of my own. If there's ever an opportunity that you'd like to kind of come alongside and see the work that we do in the county, and I personally do as a commissioner, I would invite you to come along with me, because I think it will help round out the work that you do potentially on the bench, the investments that we try to make here, and the connections for sure that we work hard to make, not just in the Justice Court, but across Marion County. I'm sure you know through legal aid, there's a lot of need for folks in our community, and I believe that this Board of Commissioners does its very best to try to connect folks with resources and services to be healthy and sustainable in a livable community. And this court is very critical to that. We never want somebody to be so burdened that they don't have a home to live in. Or, I can't control affordability. If you figure out how to do that, you let me know and we'll team up. But nonetheless, if you'd ever like to come along and kind of see some of that work, I'd invite you to do so.
That's a very kind invitation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, on that subject, Senator Wagner's staff is coming in 2 weeks just to absorb some of the housing work that we're doing, right? So we have some stuff that we're really excited to share with the state, frankly. And so thank you, commissioners, for giving us the resources and the latitude that we really need to do the work that we need to do for our community.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, of course.
And how our housing authority is involved in that process with
Yes.
you. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye? Great. Well, you're official.
Watch out.
Thank you.
You got one of these now. Okay. Our next item, before we go to our next item, I'd ask for unanimous consent for Commissioner Willis to be able to vote on the consent calendar. You good?
Yeah,
I vote aye, Mr. Chair.
sorry.
Commissioner Willis votes aye. All right, next item under Community Services, consider approval of amendment number 1 to the intergovernment agreement with Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments.
That was removed, Mr. Chair. That was being
We're
put
on-
back.
Oh,
So
that's
item
because
10.
you know what? I'm reading the online version.
Right.
That's why we have legal counsel. You know where I'd be if I didn't have legal counsel? Where's the
In
sheriff? Oh,
trouble.
the sheriff is sitting here.
In trouble.
Well, no, actually, the courts probably first, yeah. All right, so we are on item number 9 has been removed. Great, we're on item number 10. Consider an appeal for the hearings officer's decision for administrative review, case number 23-33033. Bonnoff. Nicole,
Yes.
welcome.
Commissioners, hi. For the record, this is Nicole Emma, Public Works Associate Planner. Before you today is the recommendation that the board not accept an appeal
for a hearings officer decision for an administrative review case 23-033 for the Bodanovs. Prohar and Evdokia Bodanov applied for an administrative review to determine the number of legal lots on a tract of land, approximately 26.65 acres, in the Timber Conservation Zone. The property is located in the 21,000 block of Abaquah Road Northeast and contains 2 tax lots, 300 and 500, in Township 7 South, Range 1 East. The Marion County Hearings Officer held a duly noticed public hearing that this application on January 4th, 2024, and issued a decision determining that the property constitutes one legal parcel on February 8th, 2024. The hearings officer decision was appealed to the Board of Commissioners on February 22nd, 2024. And because the appeal included no new evidence, no new argument, and isn't asking the board to make a policy interpretation, staff recommends the board not accept the appeal. The appellants appear to disagree with the conclusions of the hearings officer based on applicable laws. Applicable laws. I now stand for any questions you may have.
I think we're looking at this.
Mr. Chair, I'd like some more time to review this. Is that possible? What's your timeline?
Our time limit is till June. We have a lot of time.
You have some time?
Yes.
Okay. I know this is a little bit not ordinary, but I just haven't had the time to review this that I'd like, and I think I expected that a folder was going to be routed around, and it wasn't, and so if the commissioners aren't opposed, I'd like to have at least another week to just kind of take a look at this.
I don't have any issue with that. We did talk about this yesterday in management update, and I also thought there'd be some, usually we get something, but maybe it's just always been in the packet and somebody called my attention to it.
Council, what options to hold this item over to a date certain or indefinite, or?
It sounds like the board is looking to bring this back next week.
Is your mic on? Yeah, okay.
It is. So I think it would just be a motion to, I guess,
Remove this item.
remove this table or table it and bring it back for next week.
Okay.
Add it to next week's agenda.
Brandon? Good. Nicole? All right?
I
So-
would make that motion.
all right.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
You want to make it?
Yeah, I move that we table this and bring it back next week.
Second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion to bring this back on Wednesday, March 27th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. We'll see it on the 27th. Sorry, Nicole.
Sorry,
Yeah.
thank you.
Is this your first time in front of us?
No, but I actually think that you might have been out last time.
Oh, yeah, I was probably off in Wonderland or something, yeah. All right. Well, first time, good to see you.
For
Yeah.
him.
First time for me. All right. Okay, our next item is consider approval of a supplemental project agreement with Oregon Department of Transportation in the amount of $7,819,800, of which an estimated $7,016,706.54 will be paid by federal funds, and an estimated $803,093.46 will be paid by the county for River Road Willamette River Bridge project through April 1st, 2034. Gentlemen, welcome.
Good morning. For the record, Ryan Cruther, Marion County Public Works Capital Project Manager.
Steve Pressler, Marion County Public Works Project Engineer.
All right, and as you said, we're here to talk about our agreement with ODOT for our Willamette River Independence Bridge for our structural repairs. The project's located near Independence. It's one of our main crossings over the Willamette River. You can see it's one of our biggest bridges. It's 2,290 feet long, and it extends from Marion County into Polk County. So the project scope is to strengthen the bridge, which the intent is to remove the load rating that was recently implemented on that bridge within the last few years, and then to repair any damaged and failing areas on the bridge while we're there. I'm going to go to our next slide, which is very similar, and it shows kind of some of the issues with the bridge where there have been accidents that have damaged the rail, concrete that has been damaged over the years. This is an older bridge, so we're seeing some wear on it. So our rehabilitation priorities, we put this on here because we've got a certain amount of funding and we're going to try to extend that as far as we can. The first priority would be to strengthen the bridge, then to repair that damaged rail, replace bridge joints, and then finally to resurface a deck and repaint the substructure. Repainting the substructure is important because it will protect those elements of the bridge and kind of it extends the life of that bridge. I brought Steve along so he could explain some of the structural repairs and what we're planning to do briefly to remove that load rating.
So you probably remember a few years ago, we did a refined analysis to
You pull that microphone really close to you, Steve. Thank you.
You probably remember a few years ago, we did a refined analysis on the structure to increase the load rating somewhat. It was severely limited there for a while after ODOT went through and did that to a lot of our bridges with their recent efforts in load ratings. This project will make it so that any legal load will be able to cross the bridge. We're going to be strengthening some of the floor beams and some of the main girders so that if you're a legal load, you can cross this bridge and improve the access of that entire area. It's pretty much a dead-end area down there. When you consider some of the low overpasses for the railroad. So once we do that, that's our primary priority. Then you can see this railing looks pretty bad. It's not quite as bad as it looks, but it's pretty bad. And then, of course, bridge preservation, joint seal replacement so that when we do paint those areas where rust has accumulated, water doesn't get back on them. And then if we have some money left over, maybe some deck preservation. So.
All right, so our estimated budget, the federal grant is $16,706.54 in federal money. We have our standard county match at 10.27%, which would be $803,093.46. So that gives us a total project estimate of $7,819,800. So we do have a significant amount of funding to spend on this bridge. With this, we'd begin preliminary engineering and preliminary design in 2024. We would complete our final design in 2025, and our initial schedule shows construction in 2026. We're prioritizing getting through this project as quickly as we can in order to remove that load rating. That is a initial schedule. It's a federal grant, so that assumes we don't run into any hurdles with, say, environmental or some of these other things we've got to go through as we work through our preliminary engineering stage. But we are prioritizing schedule on this project. With that, do you have any questions?
I do. So Steve, Ryan, I'm not sure who would answer this. Have we ever done traffic counts in the morning on this bridge versus the evening and seen what direction people are coming from and going to?
Is that because you want Polk County to write a check?
Well, I'm just saying, I believe it's probably more important to Polk County residents than it is to Marion County residents. I know it's extremely important to our agricultural community for the weight limits, but the usage of this bridge is, have we ever done that? Traffic counts and seeing which direction they're coming from?
I know we've done traffic counts. I don't know that we've seen which direction they're coming from. The traffic engineering group does traffic counts on all of our roadways. Can't tell you what the frequency is, but they do traffic counts to measure how much traffic we have on each road. So we can use that in our designs and other analysis that we do. Like I said, I'm not sure whether that actually can measure which direction people are going. A lot of times they use tubes to count. They've got some other methods they can use. I can pass it along to our traffic engineer. I think it'd be really interesting. And also, how are we communicating to the Polk County residents and Independence and Monmouth who use this bridge to drive into Salem? Because I know when I turn left from a certain place out south on River Road in the morning, I'm waiting for traffic that's coming that direction up River Road. I just want to make sure that we understand how important this bridge is and we communicate that. I know we own it,
It's kind of like the Scotts Mills Bridge between us and Clackamas County. We own it. It seems like we all own all the bridges, and other counties get to use them.
So I do know that there is an IGA. We share some of the maintenance responsibility with Polk County, and Scott Wilson has, with our operations group, has shown me that. And that is outside of our project, but there is that agreement in place. I'm not overly familiar with it, but we can share that with you as well.
It'd be interesting to know what that IGA is, because we're putting in $803,000 of our county funds into this project. That's a big chunk of our gas tax county funds that we have. So.
Yeah, and I'm just curious now that Commissioner Cameron brings it up, because we did talk about this. This same conversation came up when this proposal of project came up, whenever that was in the last 3 years. I don't remember when you started this conversation with us. And at the time, I think maybe we were a little less direct about our interest, maybe a little flippant about, Yamhill and Polk County kind of getting a benefit off of the work that we do. But maybe we should take it a little more seriously. Getting the information is important, but also, stating to Polk County that if this is, in fact, and I believe it is, a critical infrastructure need for them, that maybe they need to become more of an active partner outside of that IGA, because almost $1 million for this one particular bridge, and we have like 96 bridges we have to look at. I don't think they have that many.
I thought we had more than 96, but.
Well, the 96 is the list that we have to look at for the load infrastructure issues that the feds shoved down our throats like 2 years ago, and is putting us in a bit of a burden. But yes, we have a lot more than that. So anyway, I'd be interested in kind of more of a formalized data set on what the value is to Polk County on this, so we can pursue their commissioners in a real positive, friendly conversation.
And yeah, and a lot of traffic's diverted on this bridge because of the failure to put a third bridge across the Willamette River here in Salem. So those people don't want to deal with that bridge, so they come that way. So anyways, it is what it is. We're dealing with it, but it'd be interesting to have the knowledge when we're speaking to people about how we share priorities with each other. So thank you. Do we have a motion yet?
No, but I'd be happy to make one.
Okay. Legal counsel's saying no, so I guess
there is no motion because it's mine and I haven't made it.
Okay.
I'm confident in that. I move to approve the supplemental project agreement with the Oregon Department of Transportation in the amount of $7,819,800, of which an estimated $7,016,706.54 will be paid in federal funds. An estimated $803,093.46 will be paid by the county for the River Road Willamette River Bridge project through April 1st, 2034.
I'll second the motion.
the motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. And I did also, if you get a message from our director, so the IGA with Polk County does require they pay 50% of the maintenance costs for the bridge.
Sure, are they gonna pay 50% of this county
so
share?
Yeah, is this maintenance?
That I'm not sure of, but I wanted to make sure I was as clear that
I would say this is maintenance.
Me
So
too.
Where's their check for $400,000? I'm glad Brian's watching, right?
Yeah, Brian, Nicholas, you're paying attention, give Polk County a call and be like, we brought it up today.
Yep.
$400,000 is not chump change, I'm just saying.
I like it. Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna be real good friends with Polk County by the end of the day. Okay. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Oh, we get the text, here it comes.
All right, we removed number 12, so does that finish our business? I see the sheriff sitting out there. Sheriff Hunter, did you want to make any comments today about anything that's going on since you're here? Yeah.
Oh,
If you would like to.
be on the record, sir.
Since we removed your item for till probably next week, but.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk about that. Anything you want to share with us or the public? Just introduce yourself for the record.
For the record, my name is Nick Hunter. I'm the sheriff. And no, sir, I didn't have anything specific. I was unaware that number 12 had been removed. So I was trying to find the commander that was not here to present on number 12. So I'm not sure that he's happy with the messages I sent him this morning. But,
So he probably knew that it was removed.
He did.
But he probably didn't communicate that to you.
that is correct. He
Oh,
did
that's
let me
what
know
it is.
that he received a phone call yesterday, to which I promptly told him I have not received said phone call. So somewhere there's a communication breakdown. But I'll certainly take the opportunity following coming out of short legislative session to publicly thank the board for their work on 4002 and where we got to on 4002. I know we have a lot of work still ahead of us. I know we have a lot of challenges still ahead of us, but I think we have a step in a positive direction, and we have something that we can tangibly work with. And so for everyone that had a chance to participate in that legislation, which I know was a lot of representatives, a lot of senators, I think that really turned out to be a bipartisan effort. I very much appreciate that, and that the community should be very appreciative of the work.
And
that
for
was
the
done.
community, would you explain what 4002 means?
Yeah, so 4002 was the reform of ballot measure 110. Kind of specifically in there was, and I like to use the term accountability. We get lost in the term arrest and what the term arrest means, because arrest is not simply what we are doing. This is not to put people back in jail. And most people will not see any significant jail time with the changes. But what it does create is accountability, which allows us to incentivize treatment, which has been a highly debated topic. But if you talk to those that have the lived life and have come from this type of a system, they will tell you that incentivizing treatment is how they finally got back to the life that they in fact want to live. And it becomes a livability issue where we are improving the lives for folks here in Marion County. And Marion County is absolutely leading the way in that effort with our LEAD program, our law enforcement assisted diversion, where the rest of the state is kind of scrambling it now, I would say is a fair term, and figuring out how they want to stand up these programs. We will continue to run our program, which has been very successful. We just have additional tools to help us do that. I think it's also one thing that's very good for the public to know and to understand is there was also a change in the laws regarding distribution of drugs. And so it's the specific term is Boyd Hubble, but really what we're talking about is accountability being added back in there for those that are distributing drugs in our communities. And it is absolutely unacceptable. I've had this conversation with Chief Womack, with DA Clarkson, and our motto is going to be very, very simple moving forward. And those that are struggling with addiction, we want you to get to treatment. We want to get you through treatment, and we want you to get back to being contributing members and improving the livability for everyone in our communities. Those that are bringing drugs into our communities and distributing them, no, we are going to hold you accountable, and we now have ways to get you to prison where you belong if you're trying to, in fact, distribute drugs in our communities, which is not healthy for anyone. And so that's kind of going to be our motto going forward, is that possession equals treatment, and if you're distributing, well, then we are going to look for ways to hold you accountable up into including getting folks back into prison that need to be there.
Very good. We just take that last minute and put it out there.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Listening to the sheriff talk makes me think, we bring folks into the boardroom throughout the year to give presentations, mostly on an education perspective for the public. I would really like to see if we can put together a presentation on some of these street level supported programs, LEAD, NCRT. There's a few that come to mind are what I call the flight teams that are going to be coming online through behavioral health, through the psychiatric crisis center. We have a lot of community level resources that the public just doesn't know about. One, because they don't interact with them, and two, there's such a huge need that it feels like nobody is doing anything, which isn't the case. We hear, flashy terms like, Cahoots is the best program in the country and the state, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with that. I think our program is the best program in the state and the country. And I think we should educate our public on that. So maybe we can figure out a way with the sheriff's team and the health team to put together a nice presentation on what it means to provide grassroots level services to our community members through this work.
There's a lot of ways we could do that, and I think of last week when we did the East Salem meeting. I mean, those are the types of places that you could have those forums. You can do it now with. I know years ago Commissioner Carlson did telephone town halls. Well, now you could do it with Zoom. You know, where people could tap in and watch from their house. So there's a lot of ways that we could do that and have. Here's what we're doing to keep you safe and to help people get out of addiction, et cetera. But just the last minute of what you were saying, I was kind of glued to it, because if you're going to come here and you're going to do that, we're going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
And I think we all agree, and we have a good team that agrees with that. And the person that is the almost victim of those people, I'm going to be careful saying that. We want to help you. We want to help you get sober. We want to help you, like you said, get back and be a contributing member of society. And I'm thinking of the Marion County Reentry Initiatives, the Governor's Reentry Council that I've served on since 2007 that's not active anymore. Those are good things that give people those second chances, and we do believe that people can turn their lives around, and we want to make sure that we hold people accountable, but also give them the resources to do that. So thank you, Sheriff, for being that number one enforcer, but also that number one cheerleader of saying, hey, you can do better, and we're going to help you do that. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's a relief to hear that. If you are bringing drugs into our community, we're going to put you in prison. I just feel like we need to say that over and over and over again and make it as real as possible.
All right.
Got lots of team members that are going to be doing that very soon. September 1st is when this legislation takes effect.
So
not on the distribution side. The distribution side is the emergency clause. So as soon as she signs that, we do have the ability to change where we're at with the distribution stuff. And really, we're getting something back that we had before. It has to do with sort of the constructive distribution. And so constructive distribution, having substantial quantities, things like that, we lost those, and those became attempted distributions. We got that stuff back, which allows that to be charged, which changes the sentencing grid for those folks, just simply because you have the tools to distribute, allows that to now be the actual distribution charge.
Great.
good. All right.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Be
You were
safe.
here for a reason. Right? And I'm gonna thank the commander for not giving you the message, because it was good to hear your message this morning. Appreciate you being
the opportunity.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else we want to discuss before we adjourn? Just again, before you were here, I mentioned the flowers that are beautiful that Mark Wigg brought to the board with a nice note of thanking us for all the things we do. And I got to be careful how I say this, but it's interesting that somebody who was a political opponent in a
You ran against me, right?
correct.
And he was recruited to run against me.
And sends the board flowers versus an opponent I had came in here and with a whole bunch of people and said, ooh.
Was that it?
Just like
that
that.
sounds like that was like a specific verbatim.
Versus coming back and helping in the community and helping us solve the problems. And I think that's what Mark's intentions are
Yeah.
versus other people that just like, where'd they go, right?
Well, I think
And-
it's a credit to him, and it kind of shows his
Yeah.
intention, right?
Yeah.
Like it shows that he cares about
good heart.
the people we serve. And
I love
And
those
us.
flowers.
That's what I really love about him. He's the fact that he's probably one of the kindest people I've ever met, and he's very creative. He doesn't necessarily agree with everything that we do, but he cares about us as people and the work that we're doing, and he shows that through his interest in the work. He was just here last week. I wasn't able to meet with him, but he asked to meet with me to talk about the circumstances that I'm in this year with my election, and so supportive and grateful, and has interest in feedback, which I welcome.
one of the things that I like about how we've grown as a body together is just our focus on outcomes for the people that we serve, right? And I think when we just focus on like, what do we want as a community? What's the outcome we want? What do we want for our kids? What do we want for our streets? What do we want for our sewers? What do we want for our, then it's easy to kind of bring people together.
right? Because we can all sort of focus on the outcome we want. And I think it allows all of us from our different perspectives to all unite on an outcome, right? So we may have different ideas of how to get there, but then that becomes part of the fun of the conversation rather than a barrier to the conversation, because we all can agree like, oh, this is the outcome we want, and then we all kind of bring
Right.
our own perspectives that helps us craft sort of the best path to that outcome. And
Yeah.
it just feels like we've grown as a body in kind of taking that approach.
Like getting G-Pod open.
Not yet, but we're
Well,
we're
no,
getting
but I
there.
mean, those are the kinds of things that the solutions to help us,
Yeah.
to help the tools that we need. That's just one thing, right?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
the CERT teams and all that stuff, so.
Yeah.
Well, good. I just want to say thank you. It's been a good week of sunshine. The rain is coming back, but life is better with you here at
That's it,
Net.
yeah.
All right?
That's great, good job.
Council, we're good? Counselor? Okay, Brenda, we're good? Okay, we're adjourned.